fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. A survey detailing learning loss. Half of households surveyed had a child who did not log on to the virtual learning platforms during the course of the pandemic. Police investigating another murder in New Providence. And groups announcing plans for protests during the royal visit. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning, we're talking with CIBC, First Caribbean Bank, about their Move Merrily mortgage campaign. They'll give us all the details about that. And later in Morning Blend Business, we are talking about downtown Nassau, especially after the Minister of Tourism had that meeting with owners of buildings in the downtown area. What is coming out of that? Plus, we've got a major announcement to make here on Morning Blend about the Guardian Radio lineup and the afternoon lineup. A lot of you have been asking about that, what's going to be happening. Well, you'll find out today. You definitely don't want to miss that coming up this morning. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, a major fire at a liquidation center on East-West Highway overnight. Details coming in, but we'll have more for you on that coming up in later newscasts this morning. Investigations also continue into the country's latest murder. A man shot and killed on Wrights Lane off Wolf Road. It happened last night. Superintendent Audley Peters says that the victim was standing in the road when a small car pulled up next to him. Two men got out and shot at the victim, resulting in him being fatally wounded. The police appealing to anyone with information to contact them. They've been dealing with a recent uptick in murders since March, or since this month began. Last week, police reported 5 murders in 3 days. Roughly half of the 499 households questioned in a recent survey by the government said there was at least one child in the home who did not attend virtual classes. The Nassau Guardian obtaining a copy of the report called The Survey of Infrequent and Non-Users of the Learning Management System. That was conducted by the Department of Statistics for the Ministry of Education in February. According to the report, there were represented 363 children in the survey that did not use the learning management system. Of that total, more students in preschool to grade 6, 235 of them did not use the LMS than those in grades 7 through 12, about 128. When asked why students were not using the LMS, respondents said the teachers used Zoom, 47%. Their user ID and passwords did not work, about 21% said that, and 19% said that they were no longer attending public school. The teacher used Google Classroom, also accounted for about 16% of the excuses, and 11% said they did not receive login information from the Ministry of Education, or that they no longer had internet service. About 7% said that. Students said that when not attending classes, they were watching television, about 50% accounting for that, and 35% said they were watching videos on the internet, 26% said they were sleeping, 23% said playing with friends, and 21% said playing video games. The 499 parents and guardians were randomly selected throughout the country to take part in the survey. At least 2 local groups have indicated plans to protest during the official visit of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, who will arrive in the Bahamas tomorrow as part of a Caribbean tour to commemorate Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee. Priest Richmond McKinney, head of the Ethiopia-Africa Black International Congress, Bahamas branch, said yesterday the Bahamian Rastafarian community plans to protest. McKinney said the community is demanding reparations and an apology for the injustices of colonialism and slavery. Local activist Candy Gibson, president of Family of All Murder Victims, FOAM, says that the group is also planning demonstrations during the royal couple's visit to raise awareness on the high levels of sexual violence in the Bahamas. And Tourism Minister Chester Cooper says that the British Colonial Hotel, is expected to reopen by winter 2022. He says that at this point, CCA, China Construction America, the owners of the property, are committed to the ongoing reopening and operation of the property. Overseas, Ukrainian leaders accusing Russia today of seizing 15 rescue workers and drivers from a humanitarian convoy trying to get desperately needed food and other supplies into the bloodied port of Mariupol, which came under heavy naval attack after weeks of air and land strikes. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky estimated that 100,000 civilians remained in the city, scene of some of the war's worst devastation, as Russia presses a nearly month-old offensive by bombarding cities and towns. Those made it out described a shattered city. Zelensky, speaking Tuesday in his nightly video address to the nation, accused Russian forces of blocking the aid convoy despite agreeing to the route ahead of time. He said they seized one convoy near Manhush, just outside Mariupol, taking the emergency workers and drivers captive, and that authorities are trying to win their release. The Red Cross confirmed a humanitarian aid convoy trying to reach the city had not been able to enter. The convoy's attempt to deliver assistance came as Russian Navy vessels joined in what have been weeks of Russian air and land strikes into Mariupol. A senior U.S. defense official, speaking on condition of anonymity to give the Pentagon's assessment, said Russian ships in the Sea of Azov added to the shelling of Mariupol. The official said there were about 7 Russian ships in that area, including a minesweeper and a couple of landing vessels. In sports, Bahamian professional baseball players have been in action for their respective clubs as Major League Baseball spring training gets underway. All 4 players are playing in the Grapefruit League in Florida. The Miami Marlins Jazzrado Chisholm wasted no time in hitting one out of the park when he homered in his first spring training game. The infielder did it on Friday at the top of the 4th against the Washington Nationals. You can read about how the others are doing in today's Guardian Sports section. The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture announcing several events to celebrate International Sports Day for Development and Peace, which is slated for Wednesday, April 6th. The announcement coming during a press conference yesterday with the theme, The Awakening Powered by Sports. Sports Minister Mario Boleg says the Bahamas will join the world in celebrating the day. The theme for this year's International Sports Day is Securing a Sustainable and Peaceful Future for All, the contribution of sport. Boleg says here locally, the Bahamas will join the celebrations, and the Department of Sports will host a series of sporting events inclusive of an obstacle course designed to foster team participation and a community-based event on April 2nd. That will get underway with a church service at Emmanuel Missionary Baptist Church on St. Vincent Road on March 27th. You can read more about the events in today's Guardian Sports section. From the world of tennis, Ash Barty did things on her own terms as she won 3 Grand Slam singles titles and spent more than 2 consecutive years at number 1 in the women's tennis rankings. Now she's retiring on her own terms, too, at just the age of 25, 2 months after winning the Australian Open title. The announcement stunning the tennis world today, saying it was time to chase other dreams. Barty, who announced her engagement to trainee golf professional Garrett Kissick in November, says she no longer feels compelled to do what she knows is required to be the best she can at tennis. It's not the first time Barty has walked away from tennis, though. She was the Wimbledon Junior Championship at age 15 in 2011. But she left the tour entirely for nearly 2 years in 2014 because of burnout, overwhelmed by the pressure and travel required. She played professional cricket back in Australia, her home, then eventually picked up the racket once again and returned to her other sport. Well, good luck to her. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got an area of high pressure producing fresh to strong winds and rough seas across the Bahamas. Beachgoers should continue to exercise caution due to rough surf and the risk of rip currents along East and Atlantic exposed beaches. For all areas today, your forecast calls for partly sunny, warm, and windy conditions with a quick passing shower. Fair, windy, and warm conditions tonight with passing showers. Smoke after advisory continues. Winds east to southeast at 20 to 25 knots, seas 5 to 8 feet. Temperature-wise, today we're looking at highs getting up to around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up.
It's time for a break, but when we come back, we are discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news, smart talk all day, Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Around the world, Cleveland Clinic is recognized as a leader in healthcare. Our team of experts relentlessly pursues the best for our patients. From groundbreaking cancer research to state-of-the-art heart surgery, life-saving innovations happen here every day. When it's time to travel for your health, it's time to travel to Cleveland Clinic. Your destination for care, for every care in the world. To learn more, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC. 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Chester Robards.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chester. Great to have you with us.
Good to be here. Thank you.
A lot to talk about this morning. We'll give you the phone numbers to call in just a bit, but we also have more weather and traffic. In our 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking with CIBC First Caribbean Bank. They've got a Move Merrily mortgage campaign. They're going to give us the details about that. And later in Morning Blend Business, Chester, you were there. Were you there for this
Was
meeting?
I in Morning Blend Business?
No. Well, you've been in there, but the meeting with the
Downtown stakeholders, yes.
Yeah?
I was at that meeting.
So we're going to get an eyewitness account of what
Sure.
went down there.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about some things I've heard already that are already disturbing me.
Oh.
Yeah. But at least the word is that the status quo will not be allowed.
Right.
Well, anything would be better than the status quo. Almost. Yeah. Yes.
Status
Anyway.
quo is kind of already changing, but
Where?
on one part.
Oh, well, we're not talking about that, though.
And other parts. That they
What
keep
about
talking
east of
about.
East Street?
We're not talking about that.
Oh.
They're not talking
Well, they weren't talking about that yesterday?
Oh, they're talking about that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Well, that's the part
Of
we
course, of
mean,
course.
right? Because once you pass the lights and the stuff,
Yeah.
then you reach Zombieville.
Walking
And I
Dead.
keep saying it is marketable. We could do that. Turn that into a theme park. People would pay big money and come from all around.
They're coming to shoot a new episode of Walking Dead there.
We could do a whole lot of things. Movies, TV shows. You make people pay to walk through. Can you make it to the other side? Can you make it to the bridge without being accosted by... Yes, but if we're not prepared to do that, we've got to fix it up. And is there a plan? We're going to talk about all of that. Plus, we've got a major announcement to make today
Oh, yeah?
about afternoons on Guardian Radio. There's a big slot to fill, and
That has been filled?
it is going to be filled, and today we will tell you who's going to fill it.
Oh.
And And so you definitely don't want to miss that.
That's
a lot
exciting.
of you have been asking about this for weeks. And
Spoiler alert, it's not me.
were you in the running?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just making sure people don't know.
It's not
People
me.
know it's not me.
not me either. But who will it be? You'll find out.
Did people
Who
put
they
names
are.
in a hat or something?
Actually. But anyway, that's coming up. So a lot to get to on this Wednesday morning. Let's begin, though, with what's in the news. And there's a lot in the news, a lot happening. This is the little country that just doesn't quit when it comes to news making. And as we told you, it's breaking news. There's a fire at the liquidation, I think it's called the Bahamas Liquidation Center, is it? On East-West Highway there. It may have been earlier this morning, but it's still smoldering. You can smell it. It is that building.
Maybe that's what I smelled.
Oh, yeah? We're from where?
From Cable Beach.
Well, you might. Well, actually, it could be. It could be. It looks like it was a big fire. We're gonna get some details about that hopefully soon. But yeah, that building is. It's not good. Not good. And overnight, another homicide, another murder in Nassau. We've got a man was shot and killed on Wrights Lane off Wolf Road last night. Police say the man was standing in the road when a small car pulled up next to him, and two men got out and shot him dead. Police appealing to anyone with information to come forward. And of course, this comes on the heels of March that has seen unprecedented gun violence and murder. 5 last week in just 3 days, and expanding that eight in a week, and just awful. We had a number of shows on this last week, but it just doesn't end. Here. Already got some text messages about this. Someone says here, regarding the murders the country seems to be experiencing on a nearly daily basis. This is awful. We seem to be going backward. In 2015, under the previous Christie PLP administration, when the country experienced record-breaking 147 murders in a year, the Minutes administration followed with an annual reduction in crime and less than 100 murders per year. Well, you need to put an asterisk there, though, Dexter, right? That happened under the pandemic when most of us were locked down. So it's not... okay, anyway. However, it appears that the current Davis administration... So this is a political text. This is what you're trying to do.
Clearly.
Let's not do that. That's really ridiculous and unfair, right? So we were under curfews and lockdowns when we achieved that. So unless you're suggesting we do that again just to get these numbers down, let's not do that. The same people who they were just sitting and waiting for the time when they could do what they wanted to do. And they were still doing it during that time as well. But there was apples to watermelon comparison there.
Something also must have sparked this war, whatever it is. Is it a war? What's the police intelligence saying?
And they're saying, they've been saying most of it's gang-related.
Gang-related?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Something
Those gangs
sparked.
aren't new.
No?
So, but do people in gangs need any reasons to do stupidness like this? No, they don't. And we're not getting to the bottom of that. The lead story in today's NASA Guardian is likely to make things worse because when you've spent 2 years of your life as a youngster doing the nonsense that this story talks about, what is your future going to hold? The best thing you could aim for is gang leader, possibly. We're talking about the survey detailing the learning loss as a result of the pandemic, with students not logging on to the virtual platform, the learning management system, the LMS as it's called. Our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about this today. Roughly half of the 499 households questioned in a recent survey by the government said there was at least one child in the home who did not attend virtual classes. The NASA Guardian obtained a copy of the report entitled Survey of Infrequent and Non-Users of the Learning Management System, the LMS. It was conducted by the Department of Statistics for the Ministry of Education in February. According to the report, there were represented 363 children in the survey that did not use the LMS. Of that total, more students in preschool to grade 6 did not use the LMS than those in grade 7 to 12. And so that represents about 235 students, preschool to grade 6 versus 128 in high school. Now, when asked why they did not use the LMS, they couldn't even tell some better stories than this. They said that teachers used Zoom. That was 47%, and I guess Zoom is an issue. 47%. 21% said their user ID and passwords did not work. 19% said they were no longer attending public school.
Huh?
Well, I hope that means they went to a different type of school.
19%?
Hopefully that means not attending public school and went to private school as opposed to just giving up on school. Yeah. And so it's not clear, but maybe they went to private or started homeschooling, maybe. 16% said the teacher used Google Classroom.
What does that mean?
I don't know. They just have a problem with
Google.
Google.
Are they saying that the teachers just switched up on them? And
sounds like it.
11%
said they did not receive login information from the Ministry of Education.
This is from that survey where they walked around the communities?
I'm not sure. We'll find out.
The questions sound very similar to the question that I saw.
Okay. 7% said they had no internet service. Students said that when not attending classes, they were watching television. 50% said that. 35% said they were watching videos on the internet. 26% said they were sleeping, like all day. Okay. 23% said they were playing with friends. 21% said they were playing video games. The 499 parents and guardians were randomly selected throughout the country to take part in the survey. Of those surveyed, 370 people had a monthly income and 129 did not. Of that total, 401 had an average annual household income of less than $20,000 per year. And a total of 165 respondents had an annual household income of less than $5,000 per year. Oh my goodness gracious.
Huh?
What?
That's not income.
What in God's name? And they used to attend school? Okay. 48% of respondents had one child of school age, and 30% had two children of school age in the household. 21% had three or more children of school age. The objective of the survey was to ascertain why the ministry's LMS was not fully utilized by the children that never logged on, as well as those that only logged on once or twice a day. Last October, Director of Education Marcellus Taylor said that roughly 30% of students were not attending classes on the government's online learning platform. Public school students returned to class on January 24th via hybrid learning, and they were initially supposed to resume on January 11th. After the COVID pandemic shut down almost every sector in the country in 2020, schools reopened virtually in October 2020 with the LMS program. Now, 59% of respondents says they had at least one child in the home who used the LMS. There were 369 children in the study that used LMS less than 3 times a day. This indicates that those students were not logging on for the full school day. The reasons for not logging back in included 47% who said they were unable to sign in, 28% saying the teacher does not always log on to the platform. Whoa. 26% saying no internet at home, 9% saying no electricity, 7% saying misplaced computer device, Huh? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
All right.
Yes, please.
Well, 3% saying no one to help explain instruction, and 2% saying had to help siblings or other children in the home. 1% said they had to go to work. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Students instead watched television, as we said, played video games, watched videos, slept, played with friends, did housework. The children who used the LMS lesson 3 times a day had internet in the home that was affordable and on, had problems signing into the LMS. They were using a device to attend class, had affordable electricity that was on. Or 45% of these students either had some problems or a lot of problems signing into the internet service. Okay. And there's more on this, and you should pick up today's NASA Guardian to read more. Let's get your reaction to that, though. Some of the answers, some of the responses are surprising, but not surprising that we have this challenge at all. And this continues, I'm sure, even with the hybrid system, they're still having challenges.
Well, so I did a walkabout with my church with R.M. Bailey to, when the Ministry of Education did that thing, where they went into the community to find the kids that weren't attending school. And, we ran into one house where they were on hybrid learning. They did go to R.M. Bailey. And so a young lady was at the house doing hair. And
like school age?
School age. She's in school. And 2 guys were headed off to work.
School age?
School age. Oh, boy. And they were like, oh, yeah, we don't have class today. And,
always excuse.
Well, the thing is, if you're hybrid, when you're not in school, then you're supposed to be online. But they weren't online.
Yeah.
And clearly didn't care to be.
And it's been like that for 2 years.
Yeah. So they think that the online time is a day off.
This is terrifying, folks. What will this mean in 5-10 years? What are we going to be dealing with when these young folks are adults and looking for work? What skills will they have other than being able to play video games?
Will they even be looking for work?
What do you think they're going to be doing?
Well, who's influencing them when they're not in school right now?
Wow. Let's talk. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right. Let's get some of your reaction on our text line. Dwight, could you please be a neutral host and stop painting narratives for the listeners? If it was a political text, then they would have said. No, they wouldn't have said, and it was, clearly. So you stop your foolishness. It was obviously political. That was a very foolish text. What you think Menace had the answer to our crime problems? Are you serious now? We were under lockdown. COVID was the only thing people were talking about. And we had curfews. Please stop. The police had to admit it themselves, that they believe that, yes, it is contributing to the come on. These are the games why we have the problems we have in this country. So stop. You stop.
I don't know why you mentioned crime and political parties in
well, why would you do that?
In the same text.
The same murderers, they were around in 2015. These same people out here killing everybody.
There's no causation between what party's in power and how much killing go on.
Okay. Anyway, Dwight, murders were trending down from 2018, 2 years before the pandemic. Give the police some credit, not the politicians. Hey, I'm not the one who mentioned the politicians. But they were still extremely high. They didn't reach the level of 140-something, but high for a country of our size. Far too high. But it's not, again, it's bigger than the police. It's bigger than the police. The community, we've not implemented the strategies that we need to tackle this. People who have had everybody in their family murdered are ending up getting murdered. Like, who didn't see that coming? People who were out on bail for murder are getting murdered. It continues to happen. And everyone just sits back and like, oh boy. Yeah, they were known to the police, and just move on.
Yeah.
So are you fine with this? That's what's happening here. That's the question. Because we're repeating the same things.
No, we just haven't found the political party to elect that will cause the murders to drop.
I see.
That's what it is.
This one says here, it doesn't matter how good the dog food is if the dogs will not eat it. Instead of chastising students for not using the awesome system, perhaps it's time to acknowledge the bad design.
Maybe it's a little of both.
Yeah, it's absolutely. That is contributing to it. There were
Maybe the
complaints.
dog don't like the dry food, and the wet food's fine.
There were complaints about it even before the pandemic. So, but hey. We'll get to you in a second, caller. This person says here, I'm listening to the report on the LMS program, and this sounds harsh, but is anyone really surprised? If you are, I have a bridge I wanted to sell you. And this text here.
I'll buy the bridge if it's an NFT.
What will they do when they're looking for work? Well, for the lady doing here, maybe she can go into prostitution when we legalize it.
What?
Those guys might start stealing. This is the same one who said I need to be neutral host.
Hey, at least
Neutral
they
host,
was
by the
at
way.
least they were actually
Working.
something, doing something.
That's the same person who said I should be a neutral host, by the way. Yeah,
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, so.
But some of these people on the blocks, gangbanging.
Caller, what say you on this? Good morning.
Morning, Glenn. Yes, I'd like to talk about that educational platform, but first, if the building I'm thinking about, that building has quite a great history in it. But that's not what we're going to talk about.
You're talking about the fire?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. There used to be a brew in the back there.
Yeah.
Anyway, you said about 50% of the students are living in a household population making less than $5,000 a year. Did
Not
you say something to that
50.
effect?
Not 50%.
Okay. But what percentage was that? Like 40?
It said 165 respondents had an annual income of less than
Anyway,
5,000.
well,
So that's
Sorry?
just under.
Yeah, okay.
Just under 50.
But that should really reveal something about our society and how people are struggling
Yeah,
to actually make ends meet.
absolutely.
And quite frankly, I don't know how it's done. But I am privileged to sit down and see some resumes that come in. And boy, let me tell you something. They ain't got it. Just speaking colloquially, everybody has a platform that they go to on Google and just put in the necessary personal information, but it looks like a similar design. There's no creativity in the resume.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think the creativity level is there because of the income.
Mm-hmm. Well, are the words making sense? Are they spelled
Well,
correctly?
it's the style. You see, when you look at a resume, you're going to look at the style too, because you're looking for certain patterns.
Yeah.
But you can see most of them are just copy and paste from a Google platform,
Oh my.
a Google search, a template.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Well,
all the best, Muhammad.
Hey, that's encouraging that people
Okay.
thinking like that. But that's I get what you're saying. Yeah. Lord help us, I guess. So, knowing this, what is the plan? What do we do now that we've lost 2 years with so many students, and that's just a snapshot of how massive this problem is and has been. What do we do? What is the strategy? Have we heard that yet from the ministry?
Wait, I don't know. Is everybody back in school now?
No, gradually getting there.
Right. Okay.
Not every day. This is all right. Virtue is supposed to be odd some days.
I don't know.
But
We need to rewind.
it's,
know what we need to
people had suggested that. What do? We make up in the summer? Do we continue the school year?
Nobody's gonna.
No, right.
may-
You're not
it'll-
hearing
it'll
much about
get
that
worse.
anymore. As we get closer, COVID is, the numbers are extremely low. No one's talking about that.
And who's going to teach in the
Who's
summer?
going to teach, right? So that was all talk when we were seeing thousands of people with COVID every week. But now that, hey, the parties can happen, and this event can happen, and that can happen, What about school? September soon reach. Okay. The building still won't be ready.
You know, we didn't nip it in the bud when we had the chance. There was a lot of talk about it. Nobody did anything.
Yeah. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796.
You know, the intervention should have been stronger.
On whose part?
One would assume the Ministry of Education and
But it's
all
so
of its,
many
all
thousands.
of its resources.
So many thousands of students, though.
Okay, so the school deals with there are so many thousands of students when they're in school.
Yeah, well, at least they're all in one place. When they're all throughout the country, how do you do it?
Okay, but if you break down the thousands throughout each school, how many from each school did they have to deal with that were missing?
So where are the parents in all this? These are all just orphan children
But that's just it. I
running
mean,
around.
a phone call, you know, if you can't reach a visit, I assume that every school has these kinds of details on their students and their students' parents. If you see a child missing for a week, even a few days, wouldn't you intervene in some way?
Who are you talking about now? You talking about the who?
The school.
Ah, okay.
Starting with the school.
Again, it was so many. I'm sure they were
Yeah,
overwhelmed.
but they have that so many in their classrooms every day.
From what I understand, many reached out. They couldn't do it all the time. But
Yeah, but so there should have been a tier system. You reached out now, now you call the Ministry of Education and say, look, I can't find this person. For 2 weeks now, somebody send somebody. Welfare check. You know, I don't know.
This was at least, they're not admitting it. You heard at one point it was 40%. It was more. They couldn't have done it. But what was up with the parents? That's everybody, the whole country.
I don't know.
The whole country. But what were the parents doing? That's the question. So they also just gave up. Clearly, like, well, this is weird. I understand. Yeah, it's frustrating. I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm not working. So who cares anymore?
But if the parent gave up, that's one thing, right?
That's
But do you know that? Did the parents say like, I don't know, and then you hang up the phone?
Obviously, you know that your child is doing here and working, and for 2 years has been doing this.
Right.
Obviously, you know. There's no way you could pretend to be in school for 2 years and the parent not know. No way.
But confirmation of this, you wouldn't have to do a survey. You know where these children are, and you know what their parents about.
Oh, no, this is done for other reasons. This is done so we can talk about it on the show, so they can say that they were doing something. But everybody knew this was going on. And if they admit some of the other things they were doing, we couldn't print it. But that's a sad reality. Let's take these calls. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Chester, Seattle, and Johnson.
Hi.
Yeah, first it just shows the endemic failure of our social safety net and the accountability that we've had in education as well as in social services to knowing when and where our children are as required by many of the international agreements that we've signed. Secondly, we might consider this a crisis, but this is an opportunity for us to actually adopt and adapt to 21st century type environment. Our curriculum was not preparing our students for the reality of the 21st century workforce anyway. We were simply pushing out drones to go and work in the tourism industry, for which COVID has reset. And we are still trying to rebuild that past structure. As you see, the move towards the inclusive hotels has grown, including what we call cruise ships. Now, to the whole aspect of the damage that has been done, we can use this opportunity to actually do a real assessment of every individual child. I know we may talk about the 100,000 individuals, but when you talk about the same way of segmenting it into quadrants, where each school where we know where each student is, and then begin to test each one individually to assess exactly where they are on the learning curve. to see where they are for, based on their grade, age, and socialization.
All right, so that's going to work with some of the kids who are younger, but we know this, right? They're thousands who have dropped out now. They're done. What do we do with those?
No, we use the same thing. What we have to do
they don't care about going back to school. They don't.
No, that's what I'm saying to you. They don't care about going back to school, but we got to use advanced technology to augment both the digital and traditional education processes. See, the problem is that we are using 19th century processes, a 20th century curriculum, trying to have them adopt to a 21st century environment. And so I'm simply saying this is the opportunity for us to shift from the traditional education process that we've used and embrace new 21st century learning processes. This is where we begin to use adaptive technology, artificial intelligence, or whatever else. These are not, I know in the Bahamas where we are somewhat digitally naive, we think these are some magic in the sky type things. But what happens is this is where at the same time we already know the future workforce, or we can also examine our future workforce.
See, Alan, I get what you're saying. We agree with you. The problem is we've got a gap, though. We've got some...
No, as I'm saying, but here's what gap does. Technology allows you to assess abilities, develop skills.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. There's a whole bunch of people who slipped through the cracks. They've slipped. They're down.
No,
we can't get them.
We can find them.
No, you can't. They're not going back to school.
No, but I'm saying they're going back to traditional school, but that doesn't devoid them of new learning processes and adjustment, because we don't have a choice. They don't have a choice because they will be looking to be integrated into our workforce or something, no matter what. I'm simply saying is that this is an opportunity for us, see, because we keep thinking of school as traditional classroom type environment. This is why we are fighting against even online learning. Basically, for more so from a teacher standpoint or the so-called socialization standpoint, rather than looking at the power of the hybridization of the education process that happened. Those individuals who are not going back to school, they have learning devices in their hands. We just have to teach them exactly what it is. These are just modern computers or phones or tablets or anything of that sort. But if you meet each student and even adult that we need to transition into this new reality at the level they are, and then we adjust the learning level or skills whatever to match them.
Right. See, Alan, a texter just is saying what I'm thinking. You're thinking that these people want to learn. They're not interested in that. They just want to get into the workforce and they just want to do whatever they want to do. At this point, we've lost a lot of them. What do we do? They are not going to come back. No matter how you've changed the system, they're not coming back. What are we going to do? They are already out there in the workforce. These are the ones who are supposed to graduate this year or next year, 11th and 10th, 12th graders. What are we going to do? They've had 2 years where they have not been in the classroom. Can you get them back, especially when their parents didn't care about during that 2-year period? What will you do with those? That's the crisis that we're facing. What are we going to do? Let's take that text, that call, and we got to take a break. Good morning, call. You're on the air. Are you there?
Yes, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Chester.
Yes, good morning.
Hello?
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, something Chester said a while ago that I realized was integral. It was intervention, a lack of intervention. And so if what C. Allen said can't be done, and what you're saying, Dwight, is quite scary because, I diversify, but I live in the city. And so, I see the youth STEM, and I see exactly what you guys are talking about because they had to walk through and the walkabout, right? Which I consider to be a talkabout. But when I listen to the demographics or the information that you give, it's quite scary. So, judging from what C. Allen said, there's no really turning back. So we have to embrace the hybridization of the educational system, Dwight. And so what happens is, I don't want you guys or anybody to sit back and blame the children or the ghetto youth. You just can't because the government, and I have a question I'd like to ask before I hang up. The government knew before the pandemic, right? There was problems in the education system, and then they also knew of the digital divide, Dwight. You see what I'm saying, Dwight?
Yeah.
They knew of this beforehand, and so they knew the problems this would pose. And so listening to C. Allen speak is something that came to my mind. An article I read maybe, I don't know, about 10 years ago, and it was titled Revolution of the Mind, in which the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, they have a piece of property allocated somewhere in Western America, Northwest, in which students were exposed to a virtual platform. This is years ago, to see how receptive they would be and how much knowledge they would uptake in a virtual platform. This is years ago versus the in-person learning. So they always wanted to move to this paradigm. And so in India and places where they have like millions of people, India have like 1 point something billion, right? So what happens is during the pandemic, they realized that everybody couldn't attend school, so they have something what they call education in the cloud, right? I don't know if you guys ever heard about it. But the thing is, this is what is needed. But then we're looking at the transition of children from pre to grade 1, and then the transition will be, I guess, older students will be able to handle it better, but the younger students in the primary level, I think, would be more affected, right? And that's where you need to catch them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, and listening, I didn't hear you the first part of the show, but how long did it take before the online platforms were set up post-pandemic, Dwight? That's what I was trying to find out before I say something.
You remember they started this. This was in response. The LMS came in response to a hurricane, one of the hurricanes that hit a few years back. So it was ready to go, but it's they transitioned people in October to a hybrid system.
Why I asked that question
So
is
it was a
because
few months later.
This lapse in time leads to a passivity.
Yeah, it was about 6 months. March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, about 6 months.
Yeah, and it lead to a passivity, and so. With all of the different social constructs and the multifaceted problems the government is facing, right? The teachers were being paid all along, but I noticed that some primary schools have implemented an after-school literacy program and numeracy programs. And so you mentioned something that I think should be done, like the summertime should be reduced for some people. Like the students who have the will to learn and the parents who are willing to push the students to learn in the public school system, because if not, Dwight, it will be a state of hopelessness in the next, like 5-10 years.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
That's up my Dwight.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Got to take a break. We'll pick up with the rest of your text messages and more of what's making news on this Wednesday morning when Morning Blend returns here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Let's get your first look at traffic in, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, Blue Hill Road, seeing some heavy traffic from St. Vincent Road all the way up to the Independence Drive roundabout, especially near Soldier and north of that area in the northbound lanes to the roundabout. Carmichael Road building eastbound to Blue Hill. And further south in Blue Hill, that intersection with Cowpen, South Beach Road, and Zion Boulevard also looking congested for you. Independence Drive, building traffic, especially westbound to the roundabout with Blue Hill Road, and eastbound as well to the roundabout with East Street, East-West Highway, and East Street busy. That intersection with Soldier and East Street, very heavy traffic, especially northbound on East Street. And then further east, Soldier near Windsor Place. Elsewhere, we've got Milo Butler Highway, heavy traffic from Fire Trail all the way up to Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway. Traffic's backed up along Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway as well, westbound to the roundabout. And Gladstone Road also busy for you, northbound to JFK Drive. Carmichael westbound to Coral Harbor Road, heavy traffic there. And Eastern Road, we're already seeing the heavy traffic well east of San Souci, well east of Dodge Road even, all the way up to Johnson Road and pockets along Prince Charles, seeing heavy traffic. Soldier, north of Robinson, very heavy traffic northbound to Bernard, Wolf, and Village. And northbound on Marathon also seeing some heavy traffic. That's your real-time traffic and Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined. And it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by the Pan American Health Organization. We've got an area of high pressure that's producing fresh to strong winds and rough seas across the islands. Beachgoers should exercise caution due to the rough surf and the risk of rip currents along East Coast beaches and Atlantic exposed beaches. For today, for all areas, partly sunny, warm and windy with a quick passing shower. Fair, windy and warm with passing showers tonight. Small craft advisory continues. Temperatures getting up to around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. In your extended outlook, the high pressure will drift eastward ahead of a cold front that enters the northwest Bahamas on Friday. Strong winds and rough seas will remain across the area. So for tomorrow, Thursday, partly sunny, warm and windy with isolated showers, becoming cloudy and breezy with isolated showers and thunderstorms in the northwestern islands. Fair and windy with passing showers elsewhere at night. Friday, partly cloudy to cloudy, warm and breezy with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms near the trough and frontal boundary. Partly sunny, warm and breezy with passing showers elsewhere. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by PAHO, reminding you that COVID vaccines and boosters are now available at South Beach Clinic on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., on Wednesdays at Flamingo Gardens Clinic from 1 to 5 p.m., and at the Elizabeth Estates Clinic 3 to 6 p.m., and Fleming Street from 4 to 6 p.m. And there's also the Mullet Marathon, Mondays through Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Visit vax.gov.bs to book an appointment or simply walk into any of their locations.
When you're hunting for your first home, it can feel like a lot.
With RBC by your side, your home owning journey can be stress-free. An RBC mobile mortgage specialist will meet you almost anywhere, and you'll benefit from flexible repayment terms, lower upfront costs, and cashback where it matters. Pre-qualify to see what you can afford. Start at rbc.com/Caribbean/mortgages. Limited time offer.
Wake up, it's a new day.
We're always on the go. We know life can be a daily rush. CIBC, First Caribbean, you can count on us. We make life easier. Manage your accounts at any time. Apply for a loan. It's easy when you bank online. We make life easier with choices that suit you. CIBC, First Caribbean.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
The Water and Sewage Corporation is pleased to announce the return of its national essay and video competition this year after a 2-year hiatus due to the pandemic, under the theme, The Importance of Water in a Pandemic. Schools across the country that have received letters and flyers should note that there was an error on the flyer, which indicated 10 to 12 graders can participate. However, schools advised that only 10 and 11 graders should submit essays or videos on or before Friday, April 22, 2022, instead of Friday, April 1, 2022, as was previously indicated. The top winners in both categories will receive a scholarship award to an accredited local or international college or university of their choice.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Good feeling, oh yeah. We chillin', oh yeah. All day, all night. Rum sippin', oh yeah. Boogie rollin', oh yeah. Drinks flowing, oh yeah. Meet new friends on the road, everybody glowing. Hey! Yeah, we know the sun is hot, but a little sun ain't gonna make you stop. We go wine and drink time. Drop is hot when the bassline drop, drop, drop. Now we say, it's time to replay. Throw your leg in the air, drop and juke, 'cause I say, the music's sweet. Horns and bells alone.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan on with Chester Robards on this Wednesday morning. We're talking about what's in the news, talking about the survey and the number of people, number of students who didn't take part. Again, it's only 499 households. So that's a tiny look at what's been going on there. And
499?
Yeah.
It's kind of a big look.
I mean, it's for surveys here.
Yeah, for
some
surveys,
people,
yeah.
they do it, 40 people. And
Right.
But that's, but still, it's a double, quadruple that number, and that let you know what's going on, right? So some of your text messages, somebody says here, that survey might be slightly screwed because it did not account for the 2,000 young bikers terrorizing the roads in the inner city. And that's all day long, up and down. And you can tell, they, still got milk on the side of their cheeks. These are little kids. Like, what's going on here? This person says here, the truth is the education system should teach how to learn independently. It doesn't do that. It tells you what to think. That is the assumption of the online system. Okay. Someone says here, 50% or so of the respondents make less than $5,000, yet these two hosts are making fun of kids going to work to earn money. We're not making fun. We're talking about how serious the crisis is, right?
How did they even get that? I don't know. Anyway, you know what?
You
These people
guys
don't
sound
listen.
awfully naive and snobbish, as usual in Dwight's case. Well,
These people don't listen. Clearly, they don't listen.
Yeah.
They come up with their own stuff.
Oh, boy. Anyway, and somebody says, at $5,000 annually, the parents need the kids to work. So what are you saying, though, Tex, to the previous one, right? So, so what? You're fine with it? That's great. That's how it should be. These children should be working because, and so what do we expect? Who needs school? They got to go to work? What are you saying? This is a problem. You don't see it as a problem? And there's not only one child in the household. It's three and more. What about it? Leave them alone. That's fine. But you're concerned about how I sound snobby. This is a problem. Okay. Another person here. I think there should be emphasis by the government and private citizens to look into online sources like Udemy and similar to learn digital skills such as programming and computer security. There should be emphasis by the government and private citizens. Okay.
Yeah, but it sounds like some of these people don't even have devices to go on Udemy.
Is that how
I
you say
learned
it?
from a commercial
That's how
last
you say
night.
it?
I actually saw a commercial last night.
Just yesterday.
Yeah.
Udemy?
Udemy. I heard somebody say Udemy, and I used to be like, Udemy. Because
it looks like
Udemy is kind of strange. But anyway, that's what the commercial said, Udemy.
Oh, okay. This one says here, what if the parents, in fact, gave up? Then what next? Yeah.
But that's what we're saying.
That's what we're
What's next for these kids?
This person says here, there is no, this is a big one. We need to stop pointing fingers at the schools and administrators. This is the parents' fault. It's that simple. You have parents not even educating themselves to provide resources to the students. In the states where I live, this would be child abuse and the parents would be charged. There is no endemic failure because I have a cousin from QC whose GPA went up during the pandemic and got smarter. It's because the child's parents took the time to give attention to the student. That's what makes a difference. And a couple more here as we go. We may not have known where most of the boys were, but most of the girls were, but a lot of the boys were packing groceries and possibly helping their families. It's going to be very difficult to convince both the children and the parents that the kids should go back to school. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. This person says here, breaking news, Dwight is a snob.
That's the same person?
No, somebody else.
Oh.
One of my friends. Y'all are focusing on the wrong things. If just because a snob is pointing something out to you doesn't mean it's not true and that you don't have a crisis.
Glad you admit that you're a snob.
I'm just saying. We will be back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9, streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969, Fluke Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:21, time for another check of your weather for today. Brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got an area of high pressure that's producing fresh to strong winds and rough seas across the islands. Beachgoers should exercise caution and continue to exercise caution due to rough surf and the risk of rip currents along East Coast and Atlantic exposed beaches. For all areas today, your forecast calls for partly sunny, warm and windy conditions with a quick passing shower, turning fair, windy and warm with passing showers tonight. The small craft advisory continues for boaters. 77 degrees under fair skies right now in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius today. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. In your extended outlook, the high pressure will drift eastwards ahead of a cold front that will enter the northwest Bahamas by Friday. Strong winds and rough seas will remain across the area. So ahead of that for Thursday tomorrow, partly sunny, warm and windy with isolated showers, becoming cloudy and breezy with isolated showers and thunderstorms in the northwest Bahamas, fair and windy with passing showers elsewhere at night. Friday, partly cloudy to cloudy, warm and breezy with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms near the trough and frontal boundary. Partly sunny, warm and breezy with passing showers elsewhere on Friday. That's your Morning Blend weather check brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us. 8:24, time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. We have got a number of hot spots to tell you about this morning. Let's start from west to east. We've got Carmichael Road, westbound, heavy traffic to Coral Harbor Road. And there's Gladstone Road, heavy traffic just north of Fire Trail up to JFK Drive. Milo Butler Highway seeing some heavy traffic from Fire Trail up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. And obviously there is a traffic officer there because traffic is backed up in both directions on Tawny Williams Darling Highway this morning. So keep that in mind. Further up on Milo Butler Highway, you're going to be seeing heavy traffic northbound heading toward the six-legged roundabout. And we're seeing traffic on the JFK Drive side eastbound and southbound on New Providence Highway. Also heavy traffic on West Bay Street near Saunders Beach as you approach the roundabout with New Providence Highway. And we've got Blue Hill Road, as usual, heavy traffic north of Soldier Road, northbound to the roundabout with Independence Drive, and Independence Drive backed up in both directions, east and westbound this morning. Then there's the usual Soldier Road issues, Soldier Road and East Street, Soldier Road and Windsor Place, Soldier Road north of Robinson Road, heading to the intersection with Wolf Village and Bernard Road. And Robinson Road looking extremely busy for you this morning, especially between Old Trail and Soldier Road, westbound mainly, and Prince Charles Drive between Beatrice and Soldier Road. Eastern Road also heavy traffic westbound this morning. So lots of issues out there. You will need your patience. Good luck to you. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Take that mess from off the wall. fool, stay in school. Let your mind become a tool. Church was made for fools to be.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. On this Wednesday morning, we've got a lot coming up for you. In just a few minutes, we're going to be talking with CIBC, First Caribbean Bank. They've got a Move Merrily mortgage campaign. We're going to get some details about that. And we've got a big announcement we're going to be made right here on Morning Blend about afternoons on Guardian Radio. Got a new show premiering next week at 4 p.m. What is it? Who is the host? You're going to find out in a few minutes, so stay tuned for that. That's coming up, so exciting morning ahead. But we continue to talk about what's in the news this morning, and we've been talking about this survey of learning loss, the number of students who have not been logging on to the LMS, the learning management system, during the virtual learning and hybrid learning that's been going on as a result of the pandemic. And it's just really, really, really shining a spotlight on what we knew was a crisis in education in the country, and the implications of which we will, for years, be feeling, I'm sure, the ramifications of all of this, but getting your reaction to it. Let's get through some more of your messages here. Someone says here, what contribution are... In all reality, what contribution are the D students, what does that mean, giving to this country? Yeah, I don't know. Is that... They're still talking about this? The BGCSE and what they call a D? Yeah, they're still there, still doing that nonsense. They go on to say, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge because thou hast rejected knowledge. I also reject thee, that thou shalt be priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children. Hosea 4:6. Okay. Back to the first part of this. I don't know. The first part... Chester's face right now. Hey, I suspect that's the majority of the people in the country, right? Since that's the average grade, right? And that is the pass grade.
We're not doing too bad for ourselves.
Well... But yeah, so I'm not sure what you were trying to get at, Texter. Another one here. The problem is, Dwight, that technology is breeding passivity. Some are engrossed on the online platform in a negative way. So let's also bear that in mind. How many kids have compounded problems have been compounded, I guess you're saying? Compounded by the fact that parents couldn't work and some had to work to survive. The scenario was not humanized by subservient third world leaders. That texter was selfish on increased GPA during the pandemic. Well, I don't think they're being selfish. They're just saying that, right? Not everybody has been failing, and that some people doubled down on what their children would be doing. And yeah, we have to take into account that parents were extremely challenged during this period. But it would be good to see, and I know it has happened, how many children were doing exceptionally well before all of this happened, who completely fell off a cliff during this 2-year period. Did that happen? How many children fell into that category? And that would say a lot. But I suspect those who were struggling before are the ones who continue to struggle and got worse during this time. I suspect that's the pattern that's going to be the more dominant one, unfortunately. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Godly Daisy, this Dark in a voice along with you on Chester Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, Dwight, we need justice, law, and order in this country to so Bahamas. We doesn't have it, period. May I elaborate on the royal visits that are coming here?
Sure, yeah, okay.
Look here. Here it is. There are countries who are trying to vote vouching for money for their ancestors was into slavery. Right? You agree?
I'm trying to follow you. Go on.
Okay. Now, with what the Bahamas are doing now, say I'm causing a problem whereby those countries would not have the prerogative in which they were vouching for because of the Bahamas are not with it by, entertaining the royalties that are coming here by taking care of their expense.
Okay.
That's very much indecent. And what that tells me, right?
You're
Either-
losing us. I'm not understanding what you're saying.
Say it again?
You kind of lost me. Chester, I don't know if you're following.
No.
Chester following.
No, he said no. He said no.
You're talking about reparations?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. What about reparations?
What I'm saying is, right, because of what the Bahamas are doing by taking care of the royalties expense that are coming here, then that put them, those other countries under. They wouldn't be able to elaborate all together along with the Bahamas like they should have. My other point is here,
Well, I
right?
don't think that's right. I
don't think it's right?
No, I don't think it has anything to do with the other. You're
Okay,
saying
but
that that's going to diminish their fight for reparations? That's what you're saying?
Right.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. What other thing is, right? Hey, Dwight?
And there are people here who are also on reparation committees and who have
They
been.
did not what?
There are people here on reparations committees, and they're also fighting for that. And
But
so,
what, the thing is, because they are Bahamians, right, and what the governments that the government here are doing, it's diminishing the rights to do so.
no.
Okay, my other point is, right, because what our government are doing, they either ignorant, stupid, or bloodsuckers, because they're not supposed to be taking the Bahamas through what they are doing.
And this is in regard to what? No? Okay. Well, I mean, it could be right, but I don't know what he's talking about, though. What is that
That
back
part?
to the royal family? Or
assumed it was the
oh,
royal
is it? Okay. Well, let's take this call, and then we got to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight and Chester.
Hi.
Good morning.
Yeah, I know what Bremen was speaking about. Bremen must have was trying to say this might have been the best opportunity for us, the Bahamas, right? To show the anarchy, right? That there could be not
monarchy.
Well, the monarchy would
You said anarchy, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It might be the same.
but you have to show them, right, that we ain't interested in that route no more because we need to go. We need to teach the next generation something different, right? And for us in the Bahamas to keep lotioning down these trillionaires as if they are. What message are we sending to the nation? I mean, to the younger people who out of work and who is thinking they know where, right? But we have to make some type of formal statement in this country, in my view, to send us in the direction that we need to go. And this visit, I believe this is a feel from those you always call them royalty, right? They come to feel us out to see if we still with them. But I believe the Bahamas, and I think I heard somebody said this before, I believe the Bahamas can be the last nation in the Caribbean to get rid of the Queen heirs and successors because, hey, she I don't know. I really don't know, but
We will do it after the UK does it.
I believe after the UK or right after the UK, we can do that.
Yeah. And it'll be a while after the UK, too.
Yeah.
But we will be the last at this rate.
Oh,
You
the
are
next thing.
indeed correct on that one.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
We made a slight statement with the 2x4 signs they put up.
Okay, let's get to these messages, and we've got to take a break. This person says, you guys always knew the hybrid system wasn't working. Some of the children didn't go on regular time, 10 a.m. students just getting to school. My suggestion is to go back to regular school format on a shorter period of time, or use the cable channels as edits to teach lessons instead of online. It's going to be the same thing. That would be the same thing. But if you use TV, and the people will say they don't have cable, they don't have the internet, they don't have, right? So it's going to be the same thing. Not perfect, but much better for the students. But maybe there should have been a number of options, right? While that was going on, and TV could have been one, and But okay. This person says here, we haven't learned much from the pandemic and want to go back to normal instead of moving forward. Children who haven't been able to log on to virtual should be the ones who are given priority for face-to-face learning. Those who can log in should continue virtual and on set occasions come for face-to-face. Life teaches us lessons if we choose to learn. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
That's an interesting point. Thank you.
That's a good point.
Yeah. We should have used Google Classroom from the pandemic's day one in 2020 because we wasted time waiting for the program to be developed. No, the program was developed before. We did a whole show live there when they launched it. This was about a year before the pandemic. This was in response to Dorian and Irma. And, right, so they were trying to, we did the whole show.
Did a show live there?
Yeah.
This was at the Ministry of Education, right?
This was at a hotel. They had the launch, and it was a big day. And the Morning Blend was there live, and we talked to BTC and the Ministry of Education. Jeff Lloyd was the minister, and they were very proud of this, and that even if there were, you don't have to be cut off because of a hurricane or whatever. You could still have the class here in New Providence, but
is this the same system that was developed by the Jamaican company?
Yeah. That was controversial
they
from
must
them.
have had two launches then, because I went to one too at the Ministry of Education.
Oh, yeah, maybe. But this was the day one, yeah. So it was designed then, but it was never supposed to accommodate the entire public school system. It was supposed to be for remote family islands, but this was not what it was designed for. This one says here, your calls are killing me. Are they the students that missed the online classes during the pandemic?
Wow.
Oh, boy. Well, that's
harsh.
It's a sign of the future, folks. Do you think they are trying to say that the education officials are trying to help which of these groups? Before hurricanes and COVID, there were 50% of students who dropped out of school, 25% who stay only to get a certificate of attendance, 25% graduate, and half of them barely pass with a 2.0 average without any BJCs. Now, after COVID, that has exponentially increased. Our problem is that we never acknowledge that there was a failure. Education has failed, and a new paradigm must be enacted. Yeah, it's exacerbating an already terrible situation.
How many years have we been saying this?
Yeah. So this is very scary. This is what we've been talking about. What do we do now? We know this. We knew this. Right? We didn't know some of them were just sleeping all day, but we knew things were bad. What do we do now? What will this mean for the next 5-10 years? We got to take a break. When we come back, we're talking with CIBC First Caribbean Bank. They've got a mortgage campaign they want to tell us all about, and we got a big announcement about Guardian Radio in the afternoons. You got to stay tuned for all of that coming up next.
Don't be no fool, stay in school. Let your mind become a tool. Church was made for fools to be locked away from society.
We're good for you.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
One thing there is no debate about is that BTC has the best rates. Now, the best rates just got better because you pay half the price of the other guys with your BTC home internet and mobile services combined. Switching to BTC is a no-brainer because I pay less with BTC and get super fast internet with speeds up to 600 megs. The other guys, their internet only go up to 105 megs.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile. Visit a BTC store to make the switch today. Conditions apply.
Whenever you want, wherever you are. For all your banking needs, we make it easy. CIBC, First Caribbean, we've got all your banking solutions. CIBC, First Caribbean. CIBC, First Caribbean.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Hold on to me as we go, as we roll down this unfamiliar road. And although this wave is stringing us along, just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home. Settle down, it'll all be clear. Don't pay no mind to the demons, they fill you with fear. The trouble it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. No, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And this morning we are talking about the Move Merrily mortgage campaign from CIBC First Caribbean Bank. Here to tell us all about it. Very pleased to welcome to the show Ingrid Johnson and Catrice Darville. Yes. Good morning. Welcome. Great to have you with us. All right. So yes, Move Merrily. Tell us about that. What exactly is this campaign all about?
All right. Well, good morning and a special good morning to our listening audience. CIBC is extremely happy to launch our Move Merrily mortgage campaign with features and benefits considered unheard of and unbeatable. You know, CIBC have recognized the high demand for home ownership in the Bahamas, and we have answered the call. We are your one-stop shop. So we're always proud to boost of our best in market mortgage product, not only for home purchases. So Move Merrily is really for those who are in the market for home purchases, want to build that home or duplex or triplex, or even take out equity. And when we say equity, we mean borrowing against the value of your existing home. And for those who want to switch from their existing mortgage carrier, their financial institution, we are eager and here to serve you. And I'll tell you, we offer up to 95% financing with only 5% down. And let me just repeat that. 95% financing, up to 95% financing and only 5% down.
Wow. Okay.
And with terms of 35 years. So up to 35 years, which allows for low and manageable payments. So we are always eager to place our people in their own home, whether you want to build that duplex, you want to live in one half and have that supplemental income that makes it easy for you. That's what we're here for. So if you want to, we are here to allow you to move into your new home, move on from your existing financial institution, or move quickly to obtain your mortgage application with us. Understanding this offer expires May 6th, 2022. So
which one expires? The switch or just those specials that you mentioned, the 5% down, 95? Which one?
Okay, so here's Our mortgage product is always 5% down for home ownership, up to 95% financing. What Ms. Catrice Darville is going to actually walk you through is a campaign offering where we have a lot of bells and whistles that we're going to be offering you that expires on May 6th.
Okay.
So understand, our mortgage product is always here for you, but there's so much going on with the Move Merrily, and I'm going to turn it over to Catrice to actually go through that with you.
All right, this is very exciting. Chester had a question before you go on, Catrice.
No, maybe she's going to answer
She's
it.
going to answer.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
see, yeah.
All right, Catrice.
That's
Wow.
pretty.
You
Good
ready?
morning.
Wowing us. So, yeah, let's hear some more.
Good morning, Bahamas. And as Ms. Johnson has said, with this offer, the bank is actually paying. Yes, we are paying half off your appraisal cost, half off the commitment fee, and half off the interest rate of a new pre-approved Visa Gold or Visa Platinum card that you will get along with this offer. And you will receive 5,000 bonus reward points.
Wow.
And even more, there is even more. If you switch your mortgage to us, you will receive all of the previously listed items plus up to $10,000 towards your closing cost. Up to $10,000 towards your closing cost.
Okay.
There's got to be a catch somewhere. There's got to be a catch somewhere.
This is a lot. So you all are trying to have all the mortgages in the country then. That's what you're aiming for.
Our aim is to make sure that we place as many Bahamian people in their homes or to give those who already have homes the best benefit from their existing mortgage. So bringing it over to CIBC First Caribbean News, you can hear, and as I said it before, it's unheard of. It's unbeatable. This is the first time in my career being here that we've offered something so well-rounded. Until we have to come on the air, we have to let our Bahamian people know that we have 12 branches across the Bahamas, and our sales specialists are eager to get persons in their homes or to switch to mortgages with us.
All right, so let's break that down. Let's break that down a little bit more because for years people have heard that you might want to switch, but it's such a headache, it's such a hassle. The lawyers, the legal fees, all the fees, and all that stuff. You talked about it, all the assistance you get. Let's break down each one of those and how that's going to be helpful.
Okay, so the first thing you have to do is to come in and speak to one of our specialists. Let us look at your overall financial position, and we will in turn assist you with carting the way as to how you do that with the least amount of expense. And as this campaign offers, if you are switching, remember that up to $10,000 allows you to transition your mortgage. We do all the legwork for you. It's a one-stop shop. We will actually show you where you're going to be saving. We're going to show you where you're going to benefit. So never mind all the thought process. How does this work? Give us the opportunity to sit with one of our specialists and go through that particular crafting as to how we're going to make it work for you. All right. Mm-hmm. And for those who are actually in the market to purchase, if you're not sure as to what you're qualified for, that's what we're here for. One-stop shop. You sit with us. You tell us what it is that you want to accomplish, and we help you kind of find your way through with that. And we walk with you throughout the whole entire process. So when you go into the market, you actually know what kind of funding you need or what you're qualified for before you go ahead and go out there not knowing what you're qualified for. It's just that simple.
Wow. Okay.
I just had a quick question about the 35 years. How old you got to be to get that deal?
Or how young?
So
exactly.
So
It just out of school.
So we know generally the retirement age is 65 generally across most employers. There may be some variances at 60 years, but for the most part, it's 65. So for those who are within the age of 30, then they can get that maximum term of 35 years. So if you are 40, then we can look at a term of 25 years. Mm-hmm. So just keeping in mind the retirement age bracket. Right. But certainly I can tell you what we will do is show you what the various options are that will be beneficial to you. And we always say you want to make your life as easy as possible. So that should you have some other investment you want to, we can also have that flexibility. So we kind of give you various options that you can work with. But certainly when you leave our office, you will know exactly where you stand. So when you get in that market to look for that home or to consider construction, you actually know what you're going towards. what you're working towards. And we're here to guide you throughout this from the beginning to the end.
It's very interesting that you sweeten the deal with a credit card. I think a lot of banks look at the extra debt as something negative, but you guys are like, here, take a credit card too.
Well, the thing is, we bundle it. We bundle it for you. As I said, it's a one-stop shop. We know that at times you may want to purchase, something for your new home and those kinds of things, and to bring you over and even switch your credit card from another institution, giving you a lowered rate and giving you those bonus points. That also help you to acquire some other things because you can use your points to purchase just about anything.
Right. Furnish that house, as you said.
You can actually furnish the home. You can, and those are some of the things that you have to look at when we talk about those bonus points. Those are really, really beneficial to you. I can tell you because I use it personally, and I can tell you it is a rewarding thing. You spend your money, and that is a treat back to you. Just for spending, you get that to use.
I see Dwight messaging his lawyer.
But please do. And I'll tell you, there's something else that Ms. Dava will tell you about with the home ownership benefits card. So that's just not it. It's a huge discount card. And Ms. Dava, I'm just going to turn that over to you to go over that.
Yes, and how could I forget? We are offering a homeowner's benefit card. With this card, we have actually partnered with selected retailers to offer this CIBC First Caribbean homeowner's benefit card. So once you take out this Move Merrily program, you will now have the benefits of this homeowner's benefit card, which allows you to get discounts with our local retailers. So we're now signed on to a number of retailers where you would be now allowed to get discount using your new First Caribbean homeowner's benefit card, which is a part of our Move Merrily campaign.
All right, so you have to tell us some more about that. You have to tell us some of these companies and some of the benefits. Like, what are we talking about?
So, normally during home ownership, you want to do a lot of purchases from various retailers, like Home Quality Center, and there are a number of others on the list that would be willing, once you present that card, it's not a credit card, all it is for every mortgage holder that got a mortgage during this campaign offering. Once you present that card, you get up to 15% discounts on any purchase. I'll be talking about like modern air conditioning and refrigeration, third dimension construction. There's a number of partners that we have actually reached out to and is willing to give discounts. And the only thing you need to do is just qualify for a mortgage within this campaign period, and automatically, once you present that card, it's another savings.
Okay.
So
that is wonderful stuff. All right, so we're getting some interesting text messages here. Someone says Nassau gets all the deals, Freeport gets nothing. But this is, you've got
Freeport. So I'll tell you, as I said before, we have 12 branches across the Bahamas, and that's in Abaco. So this deal is open to our Abaco community, Freeport, Eleuthera, and all of the Nassau branches. So all of the
everybody.
Nassau folks. Yes.
Everybody.
So
Okay.
it's not restricted.
Excellent.
It's wherever we are represented, the offer is there.
Okay.
And this is why we want to get people to come in and talk to us, understanding that this offer expires May 6th. And we want to make sure that we get as much people in to benefit from this amazing offer.
All right, so Inger and Catrice, you knew this was going to happen. This text here, oh boy, this sounds good for the new folks, but the existing customers are asking, what about us, existing CIBC First Caribbean mortgage customers? What are you offering us?
Well, the thing is, you come in just like how we're going to be sitting and going through individuals' financial position. You come in and speak to your officer and see what it is that you want to do. And once you rewrite, once you have those considerations done, you can actually take advantage of the offer as well. All right. But there are conditions that apply. So the biggest thing is you have to come in, have a discussion with your account officer. And certainly, we want to make sure that everyone remains happy and that we take care of everybody as well.
Yeah. All right. So I've got some people asking, you mentioned the $10,000 towards closing costs, but in general, what are you seeing? What are the average total closing costs like now?
Well, the thing is, switching a mortgage is simply the attorney's fee and conducting a title search. It's not the whole conveyancing stamp tax cost, which is the greatest piece. because you'd already been a homeowner. And so on average, we've seen that come around. It depends on the amount, but I would say around $6,000.
Okay.
But it all depends on the total cost of the mortgage. That's why we have that cap at 10, because we know what the cost generally would be to switch your mortgage. So it should be neutral to you. Based on that switch offering.
Well, that is excellent. That is excellent. All right, so this is a big question. Lots of people asking about that. What is your interest rate like?
Well, what we tend to do is we look at the overall picture and the profile of the client, and of course, it's going to always be competitive to what's actually being offered in the market today. So, it's based on the overall profile of the customer. But like we said, it's normally, once we work through the actual offering and the profile, we're able to price you very reasonably. And hence, we have been able to boast this mortgage campaign very well. The 5% down with CIBC is always a plus. I don't think you get that anywhere. We're here to do any type of mortgage that it is that you need. So we don't shun away from the construction loans because people want to build their homes from bottom up. And we do that as well as the 5% down. Understanding people, tend to not have the 20% that generally the competition will ask for. We understand that, and that's why we have been very flexible with 5% down and up to the 95% term. So it's priced based on the overall profile.
Have you started using credit checks through the credit bureau?
We haven't, but certainly if there's a need, if we have a concern, there's a way in which we get a consent from the client, and we do that just to make sure that we're not putting customers above their means to repay. We're big about clients maintaining their homes for the life of the mortgage and not having an issue with serviceability. So certainly if there is a need or concern for us, we would probe if necessary with the client's consent.
All right. So, is there going to be anybody for whom this is not going to be a good option? If they have a couple of equity loans with their mortgage, does that make things more complicated? Do you shy away from stuff like that? What do you say to someone like that?
Yeah. Not necessarily, and this is why it's always important for clients to come in and sit with one of our specialists who would look over their entire financial package and recommend. So in the instance where clients may have maybe multi-banked and they need a consolidation that will allow them then to have some flexibility for home ownership, that is what we do. We look at the entire picture and find creative ways to make a mortgage work. And that's what the team here has been trained to do. And we put heads together. If something is a bit dicey or complex, we put our heads together. We're pretty versed with mortgages, and so we understand how to create the possibility for the customer. Okay?
This text here, somebody's asking, do you add a contingency fee for loans on construction of houses?
Well, we do. We do ask for it, but in instances where we see clients have the capacity as far as debt service ratio, we can bypass that. And it simply means you have the ability to borrow more if you wish, should there be an overcost run. And so in instances where we see clients struggling or right to the button with debt service ratio, we may ask to build in a contingency for construction, because we know that sometimes people go overboard or they may have cost overruns. And so we always want to make sure that you are able to finish that asset and be happy with home ownership at the end of the day.
Now, what if you only have a couple of years left or a year left on your mortgage? Would you still be able to switch? Would you be interested in a customer like that? Or is that getting
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I would tell you then that means that you have quite a bit of equity. And when we say equity, it's the value that you've built up into your home that you're able to borrow. And so many times parents want to leverage their equity for college tuition for their kids, or to do some improvements, or even for another investment. As opposed to pledging both assets if you want to purchase an investment. And so again, it's all about understanding how your mortgage, how your asset can work for you. Why we encourage people to come in and be pre-qualified, or to kind of go over their finances and tell us what are your needs. So based on a needs analysis that we would conduct with the client, we then find out what are your goals, what do you want to achieve. And for those who have paid down to only 1 year, it means that you're quite a bit of equity and you have a lot of bit of flexibility on the financial side. So we will guide you accordingly as to how you can acquire your dreams.
And you'd still be able to get all of those benefits, including all those cards and the credit card. Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Okay. There's no hidden agenda here. What we've said to you today is really what it is. And we are always happy to just sit with clients, even if they want to call in as well. They can call in. They can use our call center and reach out to any of our lenders. That's 502-6834. And I'll repeat it, 502-6834. And they can be placed with one of our specialists just to have a walkthrough, a discussion, for clarity or anything that they want to do. And then if they want to arrange to come in and formally have that discussion, we are always here and happy to assist customers with home ownership or with switching their mortgage. It's just what we do.
Wonderful stuff. So we only have a couple minutes left, but what has the past couple of years been like with mortgages and with the pandemic? And was the interest level still there, or was this a really challenging period?
But strangely enough, and I'm happy you asked that question, we have seen an uptick in home ownership and mortgage requests. Wow. And they're for varying reasons. We've seen a lot of debt consolidation, and that is you're rolling up those high debt consumer facilities and visas, you're paying those off, and really kind of rolling it up into your mortgage, spreading it and giving it that lower interest rate. So what that does is it provides an ease in your cash flow. So you don't have those high consumer loan payments, a lot of interest. So customers have been very savvy and very, very sharp in recent years, especially during the pandemic. They to sit with our lenders, kind of put themselves in a better financial position. And also for those who are in the market for home ownership, we've seen quite a bit. As a matter of fact, it was strange to see that we've had so much clients coming in to construct and purchase. Yeah.
My goodness, that's encouraging. That's very exciting. All right, so really quickly, remind our listeners, those who might have tuned in late, what's going to be happening, and remind them of that deadline, what they need to take advantage of with the Move Merrily mortgage campaign at CIBC First Caribbean Bank.
Okay, so Move Merrily is really, we want you to move into your new home. We want to assist you with moving on from your existing financial institution and move quickly with your application process, understanding that this offer expires on May 6th. And so what that means is if you're coming to us before May 6th, there are various benefits that I'm going to let Ms. Dava go over, just outline them, half off this, half off that.
And if you're coming to us before May 6th, the bank will actually pay half off your appraisal cost, half off your commitment fee, interest rate of a new pre-approved Visa Gold or Visa Platinum credit card. You will receive 5,000 bonus reward points, and you will get, if you're switching, the bank will pay up to $10,000 towards your switching costs, and that's up to $10,000 towards your switching costs. So we are really excited about this.
It's very exciting. It's a great promotion. And give us that number again to call.
That's 502-6834.
Okay.
502-6834, our call center, and we can place you with any of the branches that is available.
This is a great promotion. Inger Johnson and Catrice Darville, thank you so much for letting us know all about it. CIBC First Caribbean Bank, wonderful stuff going on there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, it's our pleasure. All right, we're going to take a break for news headlines. When we come back, Morning Blend Business, talking about downtown Nassau, what came out of the meeting yesterday, plus our big announcement about Guardian Radio at 4 to 6 time slot. Who will be the host of the new show? What is the new show? You want to stick around. You're going to find out. You're going to meet them, him, her, I don't know what to say, coming up in just a few. This is Morning Blend. Stay tuned.
You get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
Around the world, Cleveland Clinic is recognized as a leader in healthcare. Our team of experts relentlessly pursues the best for our patients. From groundbreaking cancer research to state-of-the-art heart surgery, Life-saving innovations happen here every day. When it's time to travel for your health, it's time to travel to Cleveland Clinic. Your destination for care, for every care in the world. To learn more, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
We believe in relationship banking. We take pride in getting to know our clients. You have access to knowledgeable, approachable ambassadors and financial coaches so that we can recommend the best product for you. At Fidelity, we care about you. From your financial health to your physical health, we can relate to you because we're just like you. Come and start your relationship banking experience with us today. Visit us online at fidelitygroup.com. Visit any of our branches in Nassau or Grand Bahama, or phone 356-7764 in Nassau, or 352-6676 for Freeport.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Let Wendy's heat up your morning. Wake up with our new Hot Honey Chicken Biscuit that is forged in flavor and made fresh every morning just for you. Forged from a fusion of sweet honey and spicy heat. Wendy's new Hot Honey Chicken Biscuit is our breaded premium all-white chicken breast topped with habanero honey, served on a fresh-baked buttermilk biscuit. It offers the perfect balance of sweet heat. Better mornings always start at Wendy's.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, March 23rd, 2022. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And this morning we've got two things going on. We are going to make a major announcement about an exciting new program for Guardian Radio in the afternoons that's coming up. We're going to tell you all about that. We're going to meet the host of the program and get some details. And you'll be talking about this, I'm sure, all day until straight up until the program launches on Monday at 4 p.m. And that's coming up. But also in Morning Blend Business, we are talking about downtown Nassau again, especially after yesterday's meeting with the Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Tourism, Chester Cooper, and the downtown owners. Our own Chester Robards was there.
Chester who?
Chester Robards. How many people showed up? How many of the owners?
Oh, yeah? A lot. They had to bring out more chairs.
Really? Yeah. Like how much is a lot? How many people?
It was probably around 50, 60 people.
Yeah. Any surprises? Like anybody's like, what, do you own a building down there? Yeah?
Maybe.
Yeah, oh, okay.
I'm not going to admit to it.
Wow. I mean, like people said that when they saw somebody, like, not you too, right? But okay. So what we're seeing in the papers, the minister is saying, that the time has come. Status quo will not be allowed to continue. Downtown near crisis stage, according to the Attorney General, with the number of derelict buildings. The Attorney General's been brought in on this too. Yeah. So is legal action being threatened?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, the use of the law that exists. But they also need to strengthen laws. I think some of the big talk was around vagrants downtown as well. And
do you need laws to be strengthened to deal with that?
It seems so.
Oh, okay. So let's set it up, a little piece of what was said yesterday, and then we'll go deeper on what is going to be done about the crisis in downtown Nassau. Take a listen to this report from our Tashina Robinson.
The government will do its part to apply existing laws and introduce new ones to manage downtown. Cooper delivered a call to action for those in attendance to work hand in hand with the government.
But disinterest cannot translate into inaction. If we cannot figure out how to entertain and attract millions of visitors to spend their vacations with a safe, diverse, dynamic, and varied experiences that changes and grows our economy, making our product more interesting and more inviting over time, then I believe we may not fully comprehend the business that we are in.
Cooper said downtown needs to become the calling card of the Bahamas and not continue to be a point of national shame. He emphasized the government's commitment to taking care of outstanding issues, including vagrancy.
As far as our vagrancy issues in downtown, those are being addressed by the police and through amendments to the Mental Health Act that will be coming. Harassment by those who may be mentally challenged or have substance abuse issues is not something Bahamians or visitors desire.
Our Tashina Robinson with that report there. Okay, well, I mean, the vagrancy issue is because of how the area looks, no? Isn't that a big part of it? You don't have as many vagrants in a Cable Beach, right? You don't have them because it's not abandoned.
I mean, they've been around. A lot of them have been around downtown for a very long time.
Yeah, because they
even before the abandonment.
Yeah. Well, it was a sign.
Before the ports were moved.
Yes, some of them absolutely, but it's getting worse because the area is quite fitting.
I mean, it's a good place to beg too. So.
Boy. All right, so there's a lot of issues here. I mean, I'm shocked that we're going to say we need to strengthen laws to deal with that. I really don't understand.
I mean, there must be some things as missing. I don't know.
A will to deal with it.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that's been missing. The numbers have increased over the last few years, and everybody just drives by and actually they don't see it. It's everywhere. I can tell you, there's not a day that goes by that someone doesn't come up to me begging. Not one day. I can park my car for 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, and somebody's coming up to me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I have that kind of face or something. But the people, and they walk by, several people that come to me. But it's bad. It's bad. And it's been bad.
So you're saying it needs to be dealt with across the board, not just downtown?
No, it's the whole island now.
Yeah.
But it's much worse downtown, absolutely. Because downtown looks like that. Although there are some parts of the place where you won't find it. So, and generally those are thriving communities where it's just not going to make any sense for you to be there because someone's going to deal with it. The police will be called or authority, something.
I mean, but the vagrancy is around high traffic areas where you could find lots of people to ask for money. And where you could pull half-drunk bottles of beer out of the garbage can and stuff, which I've seen being done.
Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking, Carmichael is very busy. What's the number compared to downtown? I don't think it's comparable at all, right?
Well, they must enjoy the scenery of downtown as well.
I see. Yes, the abandoned and derelict buildings. Absolutely.
People probably would treat you different on Carmichael as well.
That's interesting. Hey, let's get your reaction to that, and go in deeper on what's being said here. So, give us paint a picture of what was going on yesterday.
So it was basically a stakeholder meeting with downtown merchants, downtown property owners, who the Ministry of Tourism and the government and the Deputy Prime Minister want to assure that things are going to be moving, things are going to change, right? All of the bells and whistles and pie in the sky ideas that came about through the Downtown Nassau Partnership, which was in its day an amazing move, right, to change downtown.
Pie in the sky.
It was pretty pie in the sky, right? I mean, some of the things that the DNP set out to do got done, but it didn't change.
Well, we're still where we go. Yeah,
it didn't change
it
hasn't changed the feeling of downtown, right? Yep, Pompey Square has been beautified, and the other square has been beautified. Sidewalks look a little bit better now, even though they got run down a little bit now. There's a little bit more structure, but after the ports moved, the bane of Bay Street became east of East Street.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's what we've been. The big talk is about changing that.
Okay. Was there any reaction to anybody? Were there any questions asked? Were they allowed to ask questions?
Yeah, there was the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation talked for about half an hour, and then took questions from everyone there. That was slow to get started, but as soon as people started asking questions.
Did anyone explain why they have allowed their buildings to be run down like that?
Of course not.
Did anyone? No excuses were given?
No. I mean, there was one person who stood up and said, look, and they blamed it on the vagrants. They said, someone set fire to our property, and the vagrancy caused it, and it happened twice, apparently. And apparently that's why their building is what it is. I don't even know what building they were talking about. Because they didn't kind of say where it was.
Was their building abandoned when someone said?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Huh, okay.
But
blame the vagrants.
Yeah.
Special.
So they blame the vagrancy on their building, whatever their building is. But nobody else kind of really talked about the buildings that we know to be what you call Zombieville or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But which most of those on that side were areas around where the ports were. So you had and the businesses. I think the businesses that were there were kind of fed by the traffic of the ports.
Okay.
So yeah.
So
one of the property owners, who is Charles Clinaris, he didn't really ask a question, but he made a statement. He was one of the first property owners. He owns Elizabethtown Bay.
Yeah, he tried something.
He was like, I'm gonna get the ball rolling. I'm gonna fix up east of East Street, my property east of East Street, and make it what the dream is supposed to be for the Downtown Nassau Partnership and the recreation of downtown.
Yeah,
and everything around him crumbled while he built up, causing his place now to
never reached its potential.
Never reach its potential.
Yeah.
And he talked about that. He said, look, because Nassau never became the living city that we said it was to become, because of bureaucracy and red tape and things just never going where it's supposed to go, restaurants have come and gone and failed over and over again because nobody lives downtown, because nobody's using the restaurants, because nobody's coming east of East Street because of how it looks now.
Very sad. Wow. All right. I want to read your articles here in the paper and get some reaction to it. I got to tell you, and I'll tell you why in a moment. And normally I'm enthused when I hear people say PPP, public-private partnership, but in this regard, I'm shaking my head. But anyway, so you write today in the business section, downtown property and business owners were warned by Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper, that the government will enforce and in some cases strengthen laws to deal with the depressed state of the downtown area. Explain to them that while the first course of action is diplomacy, we're still there? Because we really, I thought that's what we were doing.
It's probably more issues than just
we've been
taking a sledgehammer down.
Quite diplomatic for 20 years. Anyway, legislation already.
They haven't been diplomatic.
Who you mean the current administration?
People. So they're going to try that
first. But the Bahamas, the government of the Bahamas has clearly been extending a whole lot of diplomacy to the owners. But anyway, legislation already exists that could force property owners to comply. Yeah, we know that because you've done that to others in other parts of the island, other parts of the country. You've taken their land, you've taken pieces of their property to accomplish big dreams. So
new streets,
anyway,
airports.
Wow. Anyway, he called the state of downtown a national shame. And Cooper, who spoke to property owners and merchants at a stakeholder meeting called by his ministry, contended that some of the private sector in the downtown area have been, quote, standing in the way of progress. He said, quote, if we cannot figure out how to entertain and attract millions of visitors to spend on their vacations with a safe, diverse, dynamic, and varied experience that changes and grows more interesting and more inviting over time, then we do not understand the business that we're in. Downtown needs to become the calling card of the Bahamas, not continue to be a point of national shame. In order to usher in this progress that's been almost 15 years in the making through the Downtown Nassau Partnership and called for more than 30 years by some downtown stakeholders, Cooper said the government will create a management body for the city of Nassau through a public-private partnership.
Right. So that's been in the works for almost 20 years.
Okay. Should I say what I want to say now or
whatever? You
know? Okay. You know, everywhere else in the world that is called local government, and you have elected officials, a mayor and council members who do that. You don't set up. We have examples of this already. A company with individuals who will not be answerable to the people in that community and will only be answerable to the government. We don't need that again. We don't need the private company to come in here to tell us what downtown should be. The people who live in the area, who know this area and who know the Bahamas, should be there and deciding and defining the way forward for downtown Nassau, and we need that for all over New Providence and throughout the entire country. Elected officials who have to answer. Mr. Mayor, Mrs. Mayor, or Ms. Mayor, you didn't do this. You promised that you were going to develop this district, but you didn't do this. What happened? We're going to vote you out because we need somebody with a better vision. This lady over here says she knows what to do, and she's going to do the design district or the art district and the entertainment district like was promised, and we will give her 3 years to do this.
Well, there are people who live downtown who were at the meeting. Victoria Avenue residents, right, who live in a historic place down there. And they made a very good point that right across the street from them is an abandoned building where there was a law firm of two former prime ministers.
That's right.
That's falling down.
That looks so horrible.
It looks terrible. Now, if that paints a picture of our country in a nutshell, you get the point.
Were they renting or did they own that?
I don't know, but that's besides the point, probably.
Yeah? I don't know. I said, okay. Yeah, this is, folks, and you know, what's scary is that in the blueprint for change, this administration said that they would establish local government for New Providence. This is what it's supposed to be.
Right.
Now, maybe the local government body will decide that they need to have a company to help them manage. I don't know. But we need the vision of the community leaders for these areas, not companies to come in there and tell us this.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember or not if this is, but anyway, there was so the deputy prime minister talked. So we had this plan for this boardwalk that would have gone from the dock from Woods Rogers to
the bridge.
The bridge. And over the years, property owners they were responsible for building it up.
Yeah.
The government said, this is what we need. This is going to be great. They got these property owners to spend a bunch of money on it, right? And in the midst of all of that, do you know what was holding up some of the progress?
The government?
The government. They had to deal with seabed leases to put the boardwalk up. How do you want progress and punch yourself in the face at the same time?
That's what we do. That's what we do. Was flooding downtown talked about at all?
Yeah, they talked. One person mentioned how to fix the problems on Dowsville Street with flooding, and what happens there. And it's like, we need engineering to come and deal with it.
Yeah.
And I joked that no, you can't deal with it because it's a part of Bahamian culture.
What now?
That must be why it hasn't been dealt with.
Okay.
You know, it's something to go see when it happens. It's raining. Let's go downtown and see and watch the lake.
Watch the harbor come and take over the land.
Yeah.
All right, callers, we're going to get to you in just a second. So the deputy prime minister said that his government is no longer interested in beginning partnerships with downtown property owners and merchants that will not bear fruit. He said, quote, "There is no chance that we will allow the status quo to remain. Always we will try to work together to move our nation forward, but the government have a responsibility to act in the national interest, even if that is not to the liking of a few. There are multiple tools in the government's arsenal to address compliance, but our first tool will always be diplomacy. And what is good for downtown is good for the economy of the Bahamas. We have had multiple studies of the redevelopment of downtown, and the government will also engage the public for ideas. We will implement a sustained plan that will outlast me as minister and beyond the 5-year political cycle."
You know what eats me every time is they keep talking about the redevelopment of the hospital, right? The redevelopment of the new U.S. Embassy. The central bank's move to a new place and a new building.
Yeah.
And they're like, these are some of the projects that have been, but they only affect like they're little diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
And only affect a few people. Like if only a few people are going to care about them. Yeah, you're going to see it, but who cares? Like
once you pass that beautiful new building, you'll be right next to an abandoned building.
Right.
And
you get another new building
and
an
another
abandoned
building that was on fire years ago, and then you come to another new building, and then you're right next to another abandoned.
And it's years of shameful neglect. You're gonna put the beautiful new central bank building next to what's that across the street again? That's
an old parking lot.
No, right across the street.
The Victoria Gardens. That's where they're putting it, right?
Victoria Gardens,
Yeah.
and then right west of it is that old building. It has somebody's name on it, and I don't remember what it is. Not it's not Clarence. It's whatever it was.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But that building's been condemned for how long?
Yeah, it's awful. Oh, yeah, it is. Clarence Bain, diagonal. Yes.
Is that Clarence? No, Clarence Bain was down here.
No, this is Rodney Bain.
Rodney. Okay.
Or is it the other way around?
It must be the other way around. One of them.
Which one? Downtown is Rodney?
Rodney.
And this is Clarence?
Right.
Rodney
Yeah,
Bain.
Rodney
Okay,
Bain.
there you go. Wow.
How long has that been condemned?
Oh, my gosh.
A long time.
It was condemned when they were still having court in there.
Exactly.
But okay, let's take these calls quickly, and then we got our big announcement to make, folks. But caller, good morning. You're on Morning Blend Business.
Hey, morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester.
Hi.
Morning.
Hey, Dwight. I finally get through to you. Listen, Dwight. I understand that the reason why they don't fix up those buildings is because so that they don't have to pay taxes on them. You know, it has nothing to do with people living downtown. You know, Dwight, on Sunday after church, just after 10 a.m., I passed on Bay Street. Tourists were walking from the cruise ship all the way to the place where you actually buy the rum cake factory. Okay. Now, if you would visit Covent Square in London, Dwight, on a Sunday, you know, there's a hive of activities going on where they have like artisans, people selling poultry, musicians, you know, all sorts of activities going on. Also, when you go downtown a lot of the same thing, you know, there's a hive of activities going on where people doing a one-man show, a comedian, and so on. So it only takes a bit of thinking and planning where the ministry can actually, or the cultural ministry can turn it into actually a hive of events where there are cultural events or something taking place downtown through the whole alleyway where the stores are closed. And, you know, you can actually have a lot of activity where people actually, during the cruise ship, they will hang out. So it only takes a bit of ingenuity and thinking.
It still would be better and easier if people were living there. I mean, to have to drive, and you have to drive because there's no public transportation that's reliable.
No, I'm speaking about actually the tourists who are actually walking all the way down there. And, because previous governors have let it deteriorate it.
Yeah, I mean, the same people you're talking about, the artisans and the entertainers, if they were living in the area, it would be so much easier for them.
Yes.
And so that's going to be a challenge. As long as it's not a living city, it's just not going to work right. And they're going to want to leave by the time it starts getting dark. They're going to want to clear out the area, just like we see in other shopping districts on the island.
But that's fine. But during the cruise ship day, that's when tourists are walking. Because I saw a lot of tourists on Sunday morning walking all the way down there.
Okay.
There was nothing to see.
Yep.
Materialistic buildings. So they can just do some thinking and turn it into have activities even on Sunday, especially on Sunday.
Okay.
Because they always visit these big cities. Okay, just take a bit of thinking, boy.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you, buddy.
All right. And again, those big cities, people live there. People live there. It's not like a mall where you come and then you leave at night.
Right.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi. Good morning. You're on the air. Nope. Okay. Let's read a couple messages, then we've got to take a break. This person says here they need to make that Rodney Bain building a parking lot to ease the parking burden for downtown. Maybe like a high-rise parking lot or something, eh?
We got to be a high-rise parking
There's not
lot.
going to be much parking there. Someone says here, please revisit the plans of the late Jackson Burnside. Some of his ideas for downtown were phenomenal. Yes, one of the many studies, but yeah, it was great. Do you remember that?
Catching dust.
Mm-hmm. And did the minister give a timeline for anything?
No. It wasn't. It wasn't about what we're gonna do right now. It's about telling the stakeholders things are gonna change, and letting them know that more conversations are coming about this, and I guess to kind of let them know how he felt. I mean, you read this. He did use a lot of strong language, right? Now, the action.
Yeah. Let's take that call, and then we'll go to our break. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester.
Hi, good morning.
We keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. What attracts people are people. Attractions attract people. They build buildings. They so-called fix up these various parks, etc., like Pompey Square, etc., but there's no activity there to attract the people. The last caller that spoke about the entertainment and the cultural offerings, that's what's going to bring people to those areas, or any other area for that matter.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, I bet you, Chester, you could tell us, were there any entertainers there? Were there any producers there in the stakeholders meeting?
No.
Are we not a part of the stakeholders? They keep getting it wrong.
Yeah.
Stafford Sands understood when he wanted to build tourism, he took the entertainers all over the world to attract people. And when the people came to the country, there was entertainment throughout the island of New Providence, all over the island. They keep getting it wrong. You can't talk to buildings. Buildings don't attract people. People attract people.
Yeah.
And entertainment and culture and experiences will attract the people downtown.
Absolutely. When will we get it?
All the
Thank
best.
you so much. Appreciate it. All right. We're going to take a break and pick this up on the other side. But also, people asking, so what's the big announcement? Yeah, stay tuned. Right after this break, you'll meet the new host and the new show that's coming to Guardian Radio. Stay tuned.
Downtown, just listen to the rhythm of a gentle bossa nova. You'll be dancing with them too before the night is over. Happy again. The lights so much brighter there. You can forget all your troubles, forget all your cares. So go downtown, where all the lights are
how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options, we're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
The Water and Sewage Corporation advises its customers in New Providence and the Family Islands that the corporation will commence mass disconnections beginning Monday, March 28, 2022, on all outstanding accounts and financial agreements. Customers who have not honored their financial agreements are advised to visit their local offices to update those agreements as soon as possible. And all customers are further advised to bring their accounts up to date to avoid the disconnection of their water and sewage services without further notice.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Tuberculosis, also called TB, is a contagious disease that mostly affects the lungs and can sometimes affect other parts of the body. The bacteria that causes TB can be spread when droplets from an infected person is released into the air through coughing or sneezing. Some signs and symptoms of TB include a cough that lasts 3 weeks or longer, pain in the chest, coughing up blood, weakness or tiredness, weight loss, loss of appetite, chills, fever, or night sweats. If you experience any of these symptoms, contact your healthcare provider immediately or contact the Tuberculosis Surveillance Unit at 502-4728 or 502-4803, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. at the Ministry of Health. Tuberculosis is a disease that can be treated and cured.
This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. When you've got worries, all the noise and the hurry seems to help, I know. Downtown, just listen to the music of the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalk where the neon signs are pretty. How can you lose? The lights are much brighter there. You can't forget all your troubles, forget all your cares, so go down.
Back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio, Morning Blend Business. Dwight, Strachan, Chester Robards. All right, we're going to pick up our downtown discussion in just a moment, but we've been teasing this all morning, and many have been asking what's happening with the Guardian Radio time slot, 4 to 6 p.m. An announcement is going to be made right now, and a decision has been made, and we've got a brand new show premiering Monday right here on 96.9 FM.
I know this show got an interesting name.
Huh? Yeah? Let's get a drum roll as we get ready to make this big announcement. Got our drum roll. Who is it? And we can announce the new show coming to Guardian Radio, 4 to 6 p.m. weekdays beginning Monday. Talking Heads with Naughty.
That would be moi. That's Kermit. You know me and Kermit go way back. You know Kermit got me, man. Sound effects and all. What's happening there, brother Kermit?
Well, good morning, sir. Welcome to Guardian Radio.
Glad to be here. Glad to be back.
This is something else, hey?
Yeah, excited. Looking forward to a great new opportunity. Another chapter in my career. I'd like to thank Guardian for giving me the opportunity to once again reinvent myself as a broadcaster. So, that's always good. You want to get two things I got going for my careers. Broadcasting and comedy. You got career longevity if you could reinvent yourself creatively. So I think this is another shot at some career longevity and another creative reinvention of which you all know.
All right, so tell us about it. Tell us about the show. You've been doing a show called Talking Heads.
That's right. The show's been going on at another. Had been going on at another station, and as you move with your career, you have other opportunities to pop up.
The phones are blown up, by the way.
Oh Lord!
So reaction.
So you get a little bit of everything. It's called Talking Heads because I've been blessed throughout my career to be a broadcaster, a columnist, a sportsman, an entertainer. And I've been successful, not with my own horn, but I got the trophies to back it up, So, I've been blessed. So that's where Talking Heads came from, because for all the paths in my career that I've crossed, I've always bumped into people that have given me good advice, sage advice, and have been candid in their opinions. So that's what I want to bring to Guardian Radio, like the Talking Heads. If we talking downtown, I want to bring the Talking Heads from downtown and let's see what's going on there. If we talking hotel industry, let's talk with the Talking Heads in that sector. If we talking politics, let's talk with the Talking Heads in that section. And like I say, you need to be entertained on your ride home, man. 4 to 6, man, you need to be entertained.
Yep,
So,
yep.
I've been listening, so I'm here, and one of my long-standing mottos: maintain, sustain, and definitely entertain. So 4 to 6, let's do it.
Yeah, so people are familiar with you. People asking whether they know you have a column with those other folks, but that's also moving over
that's
to the
moving
National
too.
Guardian.
So
you've
Lots of announcements today.
Yeah, so I'm blessed. Like I said, I'm blessed to wear many hats. Thanks for the folks that read the column. Thanks for the folks that listen to the shows, all of them. The morning show, the Talking Heads, the press box, and this was just an opportunity, man. And like I say, I would be remiss. I wouldn't be here in this position if it wasn't for my previous employers affording me the opportunities to get where I am today, and be a part of my career success. But all good things, like pro sports, all good things come then. Sometimes you just gotta, have a look at it from a different perspective and play for a different team sometimes.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So, hey, it's great to have you on board. This is going to be great. You're going to stick with us for the rest of the show as we talk. You've been hearing us talk about downtown.
Just real quick before we go to break, so folks know we're Talking Heads, so you ready for it? 4 o'clock, we're doing politics, news, entertainment locally, internationally. We get that in, give you a chance to win some great prizes from my sponsors who have always held me down for the last 20 years. And the second hour, it's near and dear to me. And when Guardian said, hey, you want to do something, we want you to do, the politics stuff, what about sports? So that gave me an ample opportunity to incorporate sports into the 5 o'clock drive for all of the guys out there. You got something at 5 o'clock. And for all the ladies that like sports, and then you could ride home together as a couple. You could shut up from 4 to 5 and let her enjoy that portion. And then ladies, from 5 to 6, you could pleasantly please be quiet.
Surprised
And then that'll switch
the other
over.
way around.
And the sports will be the same thing. We'll talk local athletes who are making waves here, and the local athletes internationally. And then, of course, we can talk NBA, we can talk NFL, we can talk Major League Baseball, why I'm boycotting the Lakers until LeBron is traded. Now I am a Memphis Grizzlies supporter with Ja Morant. All that, we got lots to talk about. Lots.
There's a lot going on.
And the hate ain't gonna change for the Dolphins or LeBron. It ain't gonna change. Just so y'all know. Disclaimer.
Our type of show. Yeah, it sounds great. All right, so we're looking forward to it.
Yes, sir.
Monday
it is.
Wow. All right, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. All right, so you've been hearing what we've been talking about.
Downtown.
What a disgrace, eh?
Oof. Well, that's a nice word. I had some other words, but we can't, as I expressed off here, we can't relate to here on air. But yeah, I've seen downtown. I've grown up. I was lucky enough. My father was captain on the Emerald Seas. So, my late mother, Marlene, would take me and cousins and stuff on the Tuesday and Saturday ritual, especially Saturday. You go downtown, and there were great places you could go. I remember Saturday sometimes with my mom and my aunt. Both of them passed now, but that was their shopping day. They would go downtown. You had the Nassau shop. You had Kohl's in Nassau. You had the perfume store. You had the linen shop. You had the English shop. You had Mike's. You had John's. You had all kind of stuff. You had Victor's. You had Outrageous. You had tons of stores.
Yep.
Tons of boutiques. So that kind of eviscerated. You had a ton of restaurants as well.
We're talking about that off air.
And a lot of y'all don't know the best pizza ever next to Swanks in this country was Pino's. Downtown.
Not heard about this one.
Yeah, man. Pino's was off the chain, right? And Pino's, he's passed now, but I'm sure if his kids listen, they'd be like, yeah, no, what are you talking about? Pino's was the best, bro. The absolute best. Go home, slap your mama. That's how good it was.
Wow. Well, you were talking about it. There are right now, I don't know if there are any downtown Bahamian restaurants. So is there anything left?
Really? When I think about it, no. And I'm a foodie. And then when you think about it, you had Manoli and them. Scans downtown. That was there from time immemorial. You had Lums.
Yeah.
You had what else? There's a couple other restaurants down there too. The in addition to that, and people used to go there all the time. You had the Smugglers Pub. You had Dirty Dick's. You had all of those.
Yeah.
All of them, and they were legendary because people would go there. Not only would the tourists go there, the cruise ship staff would go there and socialize and party, and Bay Street was always hustling and bustling.
Mm-hmm.
And now it is popped down. And if Bay Street, if Jones could look like a city, it would be Bay Street.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
That's true.
exactly true.
That's true.
That's what y'all gonna get for the sex. I'm just letting y'all know now. So buckle up.
Brace yourselves. All right, let's see what the callers are saying. Good morning. You're on Morning Blend Business.
Dwight.
Hi.
I want to ask Chester a question, but first, what's the guest name? Who's going to start the new show?
Naughty, and the show will be Naughty, and the show will be Talking Heads.
Gotti?
Naughty, like
Naughty?
Yes.
That name sounds familiar.
Because
but anyhow,
he's been
Naughty.
around for years.
Naughty. Before I get to Chester, we had Lambs and we had the Red Dragon.
Yes, sir. Lums and Red Dragon. Lums had the best roast beef sandwiches ever. They were off the chain. Red Dragon was good too.
Right.
And then they turned what used to be Dirty Dick's into to Oriental Express. It was a Chinese restaurant for a while there, and then they turned that into Rack 'em Ups, which was the pool hall. So I mean, they've had a lot of existences and incarnations on Bay Street that were really successful and thriving. They had multiple Chinese restaurants as well down there, and people used to love it. And like I was touching on it, people used to come off the cruise ship, not only the cruise ship staff, but the tourists alike. And it was they'd come back and that would be what they would brag about because it was pre-Atlantis. So they're going, well, I had the best this in the Bahamas, or you need to go here and try this. And when I get duty free here. So it was big. I mean, it's dried up now. It's really in a shambles.
Yeah, it's very sad. Thank you very much. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Dwight, how you doing?
Doing well.
And Chester, and to the new host of the Talking Heads, Naughty.
Morning.
I only had this great Bahamian in passing different stations because I'm more like a talk show person. I don't really like to listen to much music until talk shows hours over.
So we got everybody under one roof now.
Naughty, before you came, CIBC was there, and they were talking about 95% they would put down for the Bahamian people. They would have to come up with 5%. And I'm here, Naughty, to tell them.
Well, no, that's not what they said. They said they were accepting 5% down.
I kind of missed that part. I was kind of in limbo, I was catching up with Kermian.
5% down is what they said. So they don't misquote them. 5% down, as low as 5% down if you wanted a mortgage with them. All right, let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, Chester. Got a question for Chester. Chester.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Port-of-Ski, right? Got an unsanitary health going on there for years, right?
Right.
It's a bed of, it's a bed of immaturity there, especially when you're driving the jitneys and cars and what's not. Did the government mention anything about doing something about that?
They are looking to rebuild some of the stalls on Potter's Key that's supposed to be examples of what they want to see out there. But since the Christie administration, no, there's not been a real plan presented for Potter's Key. No.
Okay. All right. So this is also the other story you have is with the AG, who's saying the laws that allow for the government to condemn derelict buildings are strong and that they are prepared to use them when it comes to buildings downtown. Attorney General Ryan Pinder told Guardian Business yesterday that successive governments have needed just the fortitude to use those laws. Are they suggesting they have it?
That's what I got from it.
Oh, okay.
But why the keen interest in revisiting this law to pull down derelict buildings? I mean, what you got up for where the derelict buildings used to be? What you going to put down?
Do they have a plan?
Do you have a plan?
That's
You
what
got some
we
open
keep saying.
spaces. You got some parks. Is it going to be commercial? Is it going to be business? Is it going to be
residential?
Residential? Could Bahamian, the everyday Bahamian get a piece of the pie? Is it going to be another big, lucrative offer for just the haves and not the have-nots?
Well, and that's what he talked about further in the story. So, the talk about turning Nassau into a living city, building residential areas, he's saying if we got to secure some of these lots and develop a plan for them in a way that Bahamians can afford these properties when they're built up in these high-rise places, then that's what they're going to do.
Who? The government?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
No. The government ain't building it, but they have to ensure that there's something written in law that ensures that what you said doesn't happen. That foreign developers don't suck them up and build these places that nobody else could afford besides.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at it. I mean, if you're going to let historic downtown become, at some point, residential, Bahamians need to have a stake in that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then that's the point he was making.
If not as a resident, as ownership or whatever, I mean, it just can't be the same old, same old.
No, definitely not. Caller, good morning. You're on Morning Blend Business.
Listen to what I'm asking.
Okay, you want us to give you the number for them to call them? 502-6834. 502-6834. That's to call CIBC to ask them about the mortgage campaign that they wanted to talk about. 502-6834. Okay, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hello?
Hi.
Yes, hi. Good morning to everyone. I just want to know if I can get a number of someone I can contact. I have a property on Dowsville Street, and I've been dealing with issues for years and not getting anywhere. So I was happy to see this come up, and I need to speak to someone desperately.
What type of issues?
What issue are you having?
Well, it's the vagrants, the building, and we try to keep our property. We have for years, and we're not having. When the horse and carriages would go by, they were seeing all of this. The vagrant runs around naked, and a lot of other things I don't want to go into on the radio. But I just want to know: is this going to spill into Dowsville Street, or am I going to try and sell this property and not have all the
Well, I think maybe a start, ma'am, might be social services to deal with the vagrants and the derelicts.
I've been there, sir. I've been to the police. He's put in Sandilands, and then he's back out. And the place he's living, no human being should be living there, for starters.
Oh, dear.
And I've been to the police and with tears, not to hurt this man, but it's a real issue. But it's not only that, it's just Dowsville Street, and I'm near Victoria Avenue and I just want to speak to someone to do with the downtown partnership, maybe. I just want to know, is Dowsville Street included in all of this?
It is. It's Dowsville Street is within the boundaries of the city of Nassau.
So who can I call? I tried Ed Fields a few years ago. I couldn't get through. I didn't follow up with it because you just feel... feel frustrated.
My suggestion is probably trying to get in touch with Dr. Romer at the Ministry of Tourism.
Dr. Romer?
Dr. Romer. You could probably call the Ministry of Tourism. Maybe you can get an email for him. If they put you through to him, that's even better.
Okay.
But I say try and get in contact with him.
Dr. Romer at Ministry of Tourism.
Yes.
Great.
He's the Deputy Director General.
Okay, great.
Good
Thank
luck.
you so-
Good luck. Hope everything works out for you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And,
Wow.
and good luck to all of you, too. We need this place changed because
Absolutely.
it's terrible.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. Wow. This text here: would turning Bay Street into a no-car zone be helpful? That's been proposed a lot. I'm not sure.
I mean, theoretically, on paper, like with what on paper, this team looks good.
Yeah.
Can it play on the field? Theoretically, we could build downtown parking, and it should be able to have people walking and being able to, and maybe catch if you did like San Francisco, have maybe like a trolley that goes down and so on and so forth, But I don't know if how B people go. I mean, when they see new things and so on and so forth, and something kick up, and yes, now we got a problem.
But also, it's a major thoroughfire. I mean,
because
how do you get out east other than well into the interior of the island?
You're gonna have to have those side tributaries from earlier up, like Chippenham, Nassau Street, to go around that,
right?
And then that might create a problem.
Big problems. Yeah.
So someone in the meeting actually suggested turning Wolf Road into a one-way, and using that, or restricting certain vehicles from using Bay Street during certain hours. So like commercial vehicles, oil trucks, big trucks.
That would be my suggestion, because in my comedy travels in the States, you drive early morning, there's the signs.
Right.
And you see all the trucks going into the city between 4 and 6 in the morning, just jetting in
Right,
there.
right,
Because
yeah.
by 7, they need to be out.
Be out, yeah.
And that's as common as in Florida.
Yeah.
You see it. And I've always wondered why we didn't do that. I mean, that's easy access. The guys have an opportunity to get in and get out, drop off the product, and do multiple deliveries one shot, and then don't have that headache. And then, traffic gets back to how it needs to be.
But we don't do simple things like fixing the bus problem in front of the printing place. Is that even used anymore?
The printing place or the bus thing? The bus is still
no,
there.
the bus is still there,
The
but the
building, right?
government
I
printing
don't know.
Yeah, downtown?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a fiasco.
And
I
they,
mean-
and they could have used that space so the
space.
buses can go
Pull
off,
into government
off the
printing-
road. Right.
Okay, so it just wasn't me.
No, everyone's
Because
been
I've
wondering.
been stuck in that traffic wondering. Just
Everyone's
saying,
been
in
wondering
my
that.
brain, wouldn't it just be easy
Yep.
that you all pull through in here and you just curve right
Have that
back
as a
out,
real
and there's no
depot.
more swerving out,
Right.
no more foolishness, because
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
These are the things, but everyone sees those. That's why I'm saying it has to be people in the community. It cannot be an outside company. While PPP works for some things, here, this needs to be a real local authority. Elected officials who have some skin in the game and know that if they have not performed, they're going to get kicked out. You won't get a big pension or another promotion to be the executive president or vice president or CEO of this authority. No, you need to be elected to serve in this local government.
that's why I was
capacity.
always a fan of recalls in the United States.
Exactly.
Because you get a bunch of, and when I say this, and I don't mean this with no disrespect when I say it, you get a bunch of keyboard warrior, pencil pushing grannies that say, hey, we have nothing else to do, buddy.
Yeah.
Take care of our grandkids, go out once in a while, catch the early bird special at Waffle House, and that, boom, be getting you recalled. And they show up with the signatures, and they give them a reason why, and they got to go. And I really wish midterm here we could say, hey, recall.
Well,
But I don't think we're ready for that yet. It's
Well,
still-
I mean, if we
you
had a
know, it's
local
still years
system,
away from that.
If we had a local government system, and you could implement something that as easily as whatever, right? But
And again,
but
I know my people.
Yeah, I mean, you put in the put in what it takes so it wouldn't be abused. But hey, all right. So again, we're looking forward. Only a few days to go to Monday at 4 p.m. Talking Heads.
Buckle up. And yeah, for those of you who've hit me just on the side, yes, MJ will be making some cameos and Talking Heads, so calm down. My better
So it won't
half,
just
you'll
be
be here
you.
from behind. It won't just be me. And on Fridays, you'll have the pleasure of being entertained by the comics from Joke as well. And take, that take on local culture and international stuff and have a good laugh with those guys, too. Because
excellent
like I
stuff.
say, y'all need to be entertained going home. So there'll
right.
be a little bit of everything. And we can pick up the downtown conversation on Monday if you want to.
I'm sure. Or the Royals. There's a lot to talk about. A lot to talk
Jolly
about.
good, the Royals are coming. I almost forgot about that.
Anyway, Naughty, welcome.
Thank you, man. Glad to be
Welcome
here.
aboard.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, glad to have you.
And
man.
again, Talking Heads, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. right here on Guardian Radio. Chester Robards, thank you so much. I'll see you next week.
Yep, see you next week.
I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great one. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.